In a world moving faster than ever, the Amish way of life is like a whole different universe. Sticking to old-school traditions that go back hundreds of years. People might think the Amish are just chill and hardworking, but behind the scenes, there's a lot more going on. Especially for the women, it's not all peaceful. There are tough rules, hidden struggles, and secrets no one talks about. This is the dark side of Amish women's lives that's never told. Born into tradition, the strict rules governing Amish women's lives. Amish women are born into a life governed by rigorous tradition. From the moment they enter the world, they're surrounded by customs designed to keep them tied to community expectations, purity, and faith. One of the most striking rules is the Amish dress code. Amish women are expected to wear long, buttonless dresses, fastening them instead with hooks or pins to maintain humility and avoid the prideful allure of decoration. Even the bonnet they wear has a deep-rooted significance. This simple, unadorned fabric piece represents modesty, respect, and faithfulness. It's not just about aesthetics. The style, color, and way the bonnet is tied can communicate marital status and religious affiliation, making it a powerful symbol of Amish identity. The restrictions don't end there. Amish women aren't permitted to use makeup or jewelry as they believe beauty should remain natural, untouched by vanity. Additionally, they're discouraged from cutting their hair, which is often kept long as a symbol of femininity and religious devotion. The Bible describes a woman's long hair as her glory, and for Amish women, trimming or styling it in elaborate ways is discouraged. This also ties into the community's belief that personal beauty is sacred and should remain as God intended. For many Amish women, daily life is shaped by rigid gender roles. They are primarily responsible for child-rearing, cooking, cleaning, and household tasks. Their education is often cut short after the 8th grade, as Amish girls are raised to prioritize homemaking over academics. Interestingly, Amish women can become teachers, but only until they marry, at which point they are expected to focus entirely on family duties. Then there's the tradition of broadside or bride time, observed after marriage. Instead of a honeymoon, newlyweds live with the bride's family where they participate in daily household chores and bond with in-laws. It's a practice meant to reinforce family values and selflessness, but it also forces women to immediately assume household duties without respite or privacy. The Amish belief in tradition touches nearly every aspect of life, from childbirth — most Amish women choose to give birth at home — to how they care for the sick, typically opting for home remedies and natural medicines. These decisions not only maintain a unique way of life, but also insulate Amish women from modern healthcare, leaving them to depend heavily on the knowledge of midwives and traditional healers within the community. How would you feel if you were raised in an Amish community with all those rules and restrictions? Tell us in the comments below. The price of silence. How Amish women are pressured to forgive and forget. While many of these traditions might seem quaint or simply strict, there's another layer. A culture of control that often leaves Amish women isolated and vulnerable. The Amish community's structure is deeply patriarchal, with women expected to be obedient to their husbands and leaders. Even in matters of religion, leadership roles are exclusive to men. While women are highly respected within the household, their voices are often limited when it comes to larger community decisions, leaving little room for them to question or challenge traditions. Control extends to how the Amish handle disputes and personal trauma. Women who experience particularly often find themselves unable to seek justice within the community. Many victims report being urged to forgive their rather than seek help, as the Amish culture values forgiveness over punishment. Outside law enforcement is discouraged, and some families actively pressure victims to stay silent, fearing the potential consequences of bringing scandal to the community. This has created a culture where can persist unchecked, and victims are left to carry the emotional burden alone. Excommunication, or shunning, is perhaps one of the most severe forms of control in the Amish community. Women who break any significant rules risk being cut off from family and friends, essentially becoming invisible within their own communities. Shunning is often a harsh punishment reserved for those who refuse to conform, and the weight of this isolation can be devastating, especially for women who rely heavily on the support networks within the Amish way of life. Excommunicated women find themselves cut off from the very system that once offered them stability, pressured into a lonely existence until they are willing to repent and rejoin the community. Rumspringa, a period during which Amish youth are allowed to explore the outside world, is another fascinating yet complex tradition. During this time, young people are permitted to wear modern clothing, use technology, and even engage in behaviors typically forbidden within the Amish community. However, this period is unstructured and filled with moral risks, often leaving Amish women vulnerable to exploitation and struggles they may not be prepared to handle. While many Amish teens eventually return, around 10% choose to leave permanently, often facing social ostracism and the loss of their family connections. The emphasis on self-reliance extends to the Amish way of farming and animal husbandry. The community has faced criticism for animal cruelty and environmental pollution, with some Amish men reportedly overworking horses and mistreating livestock. Many Amish farms are also known for poor waste management, which has led to pollution of local waterways, impacting surrounding communities. This resistance to modern standards not only harms the environment, but also places women in uncomfortable positions, as they are often expected to support or turn a blind eye to practices that might be morally questionable. If you could ask an Amish woman one question about her life, what would it be? Sound off in the comments below. Raising large families, running businesses, the surprising strength of Amish women. In such a restrictive world, how do Amish women find resilience and a sense of agency? Despite the many rules and limitations they face, Amish women have cultivated a unique strength, rooted in their traditions but also in their quiet defiance. One example is their role in the community's economy. Amish women frequently take part in small-scale businesses, crafting items like quilts, baked goods, and handmade gifts that contribute significantly to the family's income. What's surprising is that Amish women are allowed to keep the income they earn, giving them a rare degree of financial independence. This autonomy is both empowering and a quiet subversion of their otherwise traditional roles, allowing them to make decisions for themselves, even within the limits of Amish life. Despite the community's aversion to modern medicine, Amish women have developed deep knowledge of natural remedies and traditional healthcare practices. These methods, passed down through generations, enable them to manage childbirth, illness, and other health challenges without outside intervention. Yet, this approach can be dangerous, as serious health issues often go untreated, relying instead on home remedies that may lack the efficacy of modern treatments. Amish women have learned to balance this risk with resilience, using their resourcefulness to care for their families in ways that align with their beliefs. For many Amish women, motherhood is the center of their lives. Large families are encouraged, often with 5 or more children, reflecting the community's view of family size as a divine choice. Parenting duties fall heavily on the mothers, who educate their children, teach them family values, and introduce them to Amish traditions. The entire process is seen as a sacred duty, emphasizing the continuity of their way of life. However, the physical demands and emotional toll of such a lifestyle can be overwhelming, and Amish women often rely on each other for support, forming strong networks of mutual aid. In the rare cases where Amish women are pushed to the brink, some manage to escape their communities entirely. While the path away from the Amish is filled with emotional turmoil and sacrifice, those who leave are often driven by a need for freedom from the restrictive expectations placed upon them. Organizations and support groups have emerged to help former Amish women adjust to life outside, offering resources and community as they rebuild their lives in a world they know little about. There is, of course, the added challenge of genetics. Due to limited genetic diversity, the Amish community has an unusually high prevalence of certain disorders, some of which are exclusive to their population. Conditions like maple syrup urine disease and Cohen syndrome are devastating for families and require extensive care, often provided by mothers. In response, the community has had to establish clinics specializing in these disorders, where women work tirelessly to care for children with complex needs. The role of women as caregivers is highlighted here as they manage health crises within the confines of traditional medicine and home care. In recent years, whispers of and substance have further tested Amish resilience. While addiction is heavily stigmatized, Amish communities are not immune to the influence of particularly heroin. Amish women, these addictions represent yet another challenge as they watch loved ones struggle with a silent epidemic that contradicts their values of purity and simplicity. Did you know these disturbing secrets Amish women are hiding? If you did not, give this video a like because we love to keep bringing you head-scratching content. A community at risk, how modern issues are testing. Amish women's strength. While the Amish are known for living devoutly religious, simple lives, challenges from the outside world have begun to seep into their communities, creating new struggles for Amish women. One such issue is the prevalence of genetic disorders due to generations of close-knit marriages. Conditions like maple syrup urine disease and Cohen syndrome disproportionately affect Amish families, demanding constant care from mothers and intensifying the already considerable weight of family obligations. Substance also presents an unexpected trial. Though Amish values discourage vices, addiction to opioids, especially heroin, has begun to affect some in the community. For Amish women, this silent epidemic adds another layer of pain, as they see loved ones fall to the grips of addiction. The emotional and social stigma around this issue makes seeking outside help nearly impossible, as discussing these struggles openly could mean ostracism from the only life they've known. Through these experiences, Amish women reveal a deep resilience, balancing traditional roles with the pressures of the modern world pressing in on all sides. As we've uncovered, the lives of Amish women are far from the peaceful image many associate with their community. Behind closed doors, there are secrets, struggles, and hard realities that challenge their traditional ways. So, what's your take on this hidden side of the Amish lifestyle? Are the sacrifices worth the seemingly serene life they lead? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Adventure Tales for more deep dives into the world's most fascinating stories. See you in the next video!